All right, let's do the actual register now because it works. So switch back to your user, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit because we can reuse some of the code we already did, so we don't have to do as much. So if you mark the fetch user from here to here, and you just copy this, because less work for us, that's writing, that's great, and then register user, and paste it in. So we have two fetch tokens. I'm going to zoom in again. Of course, we need to change the name of this one to register user, so instead of fetch token. And if you recall, when we did Swagger out here, when we did a register user, we had name, email, password, and not this one or this one. So we need to make sure we pass through all three, and the last one is name, and it's also a string, like so. So have this in here for that part as well, so we can name the user. We're still going to do a fetch here. We're still going to use a post. We're not going to use get the token because it doesn't exist at this page or this point in time when we try to create it. And then here, when we stringify, make sure you pass in the name. Make sure the order is correct. So if name is first here, name is first here, and then email, password, password. If you take name and put it at the end, it will send it at the end, and you will have issues, and you will try to put the name and password, and it's gonna be a horrible mess. Inside our if no response, we can just leave the blank. We can just leave the throw error. That should be enough for us. So use the data we get from Mongo. Sorry, and then here still do the same. Still store the response from Mongo in an auth response. Still token, still users. We don't really need this one anymore because the users won't be logged in. LS token, we don't need the user ID, so we can delete that one as well. And do we really need any? We don't need the token down here. And then user is registered or created / created. So we have that one here. Auth response, auth token. So let's see what this is. We can also remove this one down here if you don't need it really, but it's up to you. I am just going to do a little thing here because it annoys me. So on a Mac, I'm going to do Shift, Command, and then P keyboard, and then type format. And you can see it just indented everything correctly because I was getting annoyed with catches was at the end. It's half of Prettyfire. So if you have Prettyfire, it will already do it for you. We need to export this registered user, so make sure you go down to your return statement and export it so we can actually use it. But this, again, we added name, we removed the token from up here, and that's almost basically it for the register. Go back to your code, and here we need to register user, which is coming from, again, the use users, so it's still here, but we can still use it now. Look, it's right there. Excellent. And now we need to go up to the button that says register, and we're going to do an @click equal and register. And just with fetch token, sorry, we're passing some parameters in. And if we do just these and I hover again, it declares and tells me I need 3 arguments, which is name, email, password. That's what we're expecting. That's what TypeScript is saying. So name, email, password, and in this order. Make sure correct order. Great. So this first, and I was about to make the same mistake as before. Make sure you bind the different things. I'm going to bind email to email. I'm going to bind password to password, and I'm going to bind name to name. Space and then name. So model for name, model for email, and model for this one. Sweet. Let's go test it and see what we broke, because we probably did, knowing myself right. So let's do a test and then blah, and then just create some errors probably. And it just reloaded, which is really annoying. So register reloads the page. We don't want it to do this. And we can actually, you probably, hopefully know them from JavaScript. We can do something called prevent default from, if you fire a JavaScript function, it won't reload the page. The easy fix for this in Vue is just where you have your click function. just immediately, or just after the K, you just type dot prevent. It's a prevent default method that goes in here. So let's try again, refresh, expand, and then blah, blah, and blah, and see what it actually pops up. So we have something called a bad request. So let's track the data. It's 54. I'm going to go to the here instead. That's easier. 54. That's this line. So let's see what the issue is. How do I unmark? That's annoying. Whatever. Fetch online render API user login. Login. That doesn't feel right. So let's go to Swagger and see we have /user /login /user /register. Login takes in 2 parameters, register takes in, well, it takes in 5, but we're only sending 3 of them. So instead of this, we need to type register and save. So let's go back to the front end, refresh to make sure, console log, click. Let's actually type in stuff, dude, whatever. Admin, with 2 M's, admin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, why not? I'm going to copy this name and register. And I can now see user is registered. If I expand this, this is the console log I have in the code where it says users registered, and it takes in the response we get. And in here I can see this is my user ID. Error is null, there's no errors. But I can see now, since we have this, this would only be created if Mongo created the actual thing in the collection. The actual element in there. So now, and since I did a vbind here, you can see it binds up here, and I don't really have to type them in. I should just be able to click login, and user is now logged in. I get my token, and I can expand here to see more information about the user if I want to. Again, data, token, user ID. So now we have a register function up and running.